And okay, so I think the streaming has started. Excellent. Let me check here. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, I think it has. As I can see, 26 seconds. Let me do this. Studio. Okay, so Blazor developer learning Next.JS. And okay, let me share this one. Because I think okay. There's all right, let's go. What we're gonna be doing is it's gonna be pretty simple. So we're gonna be learning React. So we need to start from the ground and download a couple of things. So we're gonna download, what is this thing? Visual Studio, right? Studio Code. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Wait a minute. Yeah. So accept. If you don't have Node, also we need. Okay. Let's configuring configuration, right? So let's Visual Studio is good. Okay. Yo. Shit. With agent. No. Okay. So we're gonna need this. Do we something like Node/V, something like that? So Node. Let's find something like maybe some music to play. Let's do this. Let me check here. Let's try to find some music and let's see. Okay. Okay. We so no slash v. Oh, this still. Where's that one? Okay, let's open another one. No. Perfect. There's no slash v. 24. Okay. Let us continue with the steps that we have. So npx just code extension. So we need those things. So I'm just gonna put this thing here. I need this one on the side, and we need some extensions. So yes. So is it this one? Redux snippet. Fluent. Oh. Okay, great. So we need to have our that, right? Something like that. So with that, we can just do something like this. CLS. The document. Nah. The documents. So what we're gonna do is just gonna keep it simple on this case. So let's see if we can zoom this thing. So we need to copy this line. Okay, let's see if it will work. Create next. So is this the name of for my next app? So what can you say? So we are using the latest version of React at this point. So what I'm thinking of doing is just to call it, let's say master React. Let's see. Yes. Just recommended default alternative dependencies. This thing's weird. What the heck is it taking it? So, once we create this thing TypeScript, recommended about yes, tailwind is lenses. Import alias. I have no idea what these things are, but we'll figure it out. What's happening? And okay, app. So understand the directory structure. Your project will look like this. Is this supposed to take this long? This is bad. Come on. Come on. Installing dev dependencies. Like, is this supposed to take this long? Okay, anyway, let's just try to go through this thing and see if we can understand this thing. So, public images icons select. Okay. So they're trying to show me as if like we are Blazor, which is good, at least. And we have TS config, we TypeScript configuration, tailwind, library server help, database util components, reusable UI component, your pages and routes. Like, okay, which is configure pre-team, create a file, single code. So this is just configurations of pre-team on which tailwind. First of all, I have to find the reason. I have to know why I have to do those configurations first. I'm just gonna skip the configurations part and until I get to the issue of not using those configurations, and then from then that's when I'm gonna update Next.JS. Come on, what's happening? Yeah, the music is trash. Let's see. Next. Come on. Perfect. Here's a signal. Proof. The senior Next.JS. The future. Client components interaction. Data fetching plus caching, API routes, server actions, authentication, the hardest part. So authentication is the hardest part about this whole thing. Which is weird. Why is this thing taking so long? Use the okay. Minimal senior level React mental. The first senior approach. So is this part. Come on, this thing is taking way too long. I'll copy this. Project. Just there. This is getting messy. I can't see. You know what? Let's cancel this nonsense. Yes. Let's try to do them again. Okay, so now we have to delete this whole thing, right? Let's delete this thing. So on the documents we do have something cool. So on master react. Let's delete that. Yes. Come on, don't take no. Is it possible to be stuck on this thing forever? Is it? NPM cache it. Actually, I missed this. Let me apply this one. Okay. Come on, don't take long. This means at this point we're gonna have to just wait, maybe do something. I don't know what we can do in the meantime, because this thing is just gonna keep doing this nonsense until when? That's something we don't know. Oh, is it done? Wait. Ah, damn it. Yo, bro. Okay, let's go. So create a master manage. Let's do this. So master react. Let's go with the master, of course. Direct one which we do have. Let's open our Visual Studio Code. At this point, okay, we can actually split this thing in 3 extras. Let's do this. So with the AI. So now let's go on. So lesson number 1 was correct fundamentals, the first senior approach. So as a Blazor dev, the biggest shift is learn React mental model. Component is equals to functions. Okay. State is equals to use state. Side effects. Control components input tied to state. Input tied to state. Props down. Events up. Like these are parameters. Oh, okay. Props down events. Okay. Use state component. So we're gonna start with this one. Component local state. So if we create, let's say, a component that does have its state, that means we store it in use state, use effect, the trigger side effects, use memo, use callback, use effect, side effects, context API global. Next, okay, so okay, let's say my project. Because I feel like the next step is the most important one. Let's do this. It don't take us long to understand this thing. So we're gonna open this. CD my next. So at this point, how do I increase this? Okay, I think it's visible enough. Let me just try to minimize this thing, and I also try to do this. Maybe something like this. All right. Hopefully my okay. What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? What do we need? Wait, now we go to and then run dev. Okay. So npm run dev. Our program runs will disable on this is for more information here about execution policies. What kind of an exception is that? Security error. File info cannot be loaded because running script is disabled on this system. Okay, I've never seen this. Okay, let's paste this error. This is PowerShell execution policies, no issue. PowerShell is another. Run PowerShell is another time. Okay. Okay, we've got something. So we need PowerShell. PowerShell. And they said yes, right? Let's try to do that. Okay. Hello. So already it's running on this side. Okay, it's the same thing. So this one, let me just put it in here as well. So to get started, edit this page and then templates, land, documentation. So this is just the basics of. Okay, now since it's running, now the project is running. What is the next step? Perfect. Now you're running. Next step, understand the control app router. Source app layout of CSS. Yes, no, not C. Getting crazy. So we do have layout. And if we open this, so now we do have app, and then within the app we do have layout, and then we have page. Okay, page route. Wrap around all pages. Makes sense. So if this is the layout, that means okay, everything gets injected in here. That means if we change something like maybe let's say we create a div here, and we say hello every page. Save this thing. Does it refresh? Refresh. Let's go to the page. Hello every page. Okay. Let's modify, edit it. Edit your page to see the real results. So we already updated the layout of the page, replace everything with so okay, first of all, let's come here, export default function. It seems like we're just gonna also have to learn TypeScript, on which I have no idea how long it'll take me to actually master TypeScript. But anyway, let's go. So we need to change, we can change everything in here. Let's see. So if this, so export default. Export default. Explain a bit. Actually do. Okay, let's break it down. I guess no. Creates a React server component. Automatically turns into the route. /1. So it defines a React component. React components are functions that returns UI. Oh, they are functions. So this is a function on which it returns a UI on which this is HTML code. And then export. Export default. This is the component Next.js will use for this file. You're saying this is the main component exported from this file. So that means when you call this function, this will be the actual default. That means when you call this page, that's what's gonna happen. Okay. It's gonna, since this is default, that means you cannot have more than one default component or function. Okay, let's see. So page is the home page, and if it were dashboard / page team, it was gonna be page. So page takes the name. So, okay, so app is root, and then dashboard is dashboard page. As long okay, I get it. No secrets. Constant. Constant that avoid db. So it will do this thing, find main, and then from there it will return this thing written in the length. This is extremely powerful. Next.js senior level training. React component exported from the file default treated route. Server component. Okay, inside my React component. Well, okay, let's see this. Is it possible, right, to have more than one default function in is it TSX? ESX5, I think. Short answer, no. Okay, yeah, so you cannot have more than one reform. Okay, so that means we have to change this thing. Let's delete this whole thing. This is page, and so we're just gonna say return and leave hello world. And images, nah. Okay, so hello world. So if I refresh, this is what has been returned. So it returns a div on which is called to hello world, and that's it. So whatever we do in here can we do certain computations? So let's say, for example, in here, let's say, can we create a variable, say total is equals to let's say 1 plus 1. And it's more values let or constant. Okay, so constant students never used. Okay, let's see, total values. Total value is equals to 2. Now we get it. Now let's see, export view, import page. So let's create another page here. Let's see how the pages actually work. So if this thing is an app, that means the first page is going to be here. That means if we create another folder called dashboard, let's say users. So and then we create page.th ESX, and then we say export in here. Export default function. What is it? Do we have to name? Wait. Oh, does it matter whether what we call it? The name. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So I can just call it page and then make it return. Let's just return this thing. If dashboard page. So here you just can see this page not found. Let's start. Maybe it's because of still nothing. No, it's not. No, users page. Come on. Oh yeah, users page. So now we get how to create pages. And then the good part about it is that we can create functions straight from here. Let's say constant total users, something like this. Yeah. In React, how do we say total users? Okay. The message is left anyway. We're just gonna be moving fast. So in TypeScript, do we name a variable as total users or users or total users? I don't know. The users correct and recommended. Oh yeah. So if this is recommended, that means like in C#. Okay, let's do it. So total users is equals to, let's say 5. And users page. So let's return a couple of things. And so we have a div here. So with that, so if on users page, right, let's create another div here. So okay, it has to be one. Let's say div here. Can I, let's say class name. Can I do magenta top? I'll do. Let's see, can I use bootstrap on next react? I don't know. Yes, you can absolutely use bootstrap, and there are two main ways to do it depending on how you want to. I'm okay. I think the first step should be, since I'm familiar with bootstrap, I think it's just going to help me do a couple of things way faster compared to. Okay, so npm install, let's stop this thing. So let's do this. Npm install bootstrap. And then we're gonna say import. Okay, inside the layout makes sense. So we're gonna import this thing. And then button is done, from then we can do that. But what I wanna use, in fact, let's see if we can find an extension for bootstrap. Bootstrap. Bootstrap 4, Bootstrap 5, 0.7 mean. Oh, I don't trust them. Okay, I think it's good. Come. This is my page, so I can see. Okay, let's see if it will work. Total users, and we're gonna say total users. Come here. Oh, the application is not running. Oh, total users 5. Now this is good. So we got what we needed. So now we're gonna move to the next part, on which, so use like this. Input from button, so we can actually. So but I can tell that the margin was being applied here, which is good. So we can MT4 margin top 4. Let me zoom out. So margin top 4 is, which is good. Now let's move to the next part, which, okay, so let's come to state. Let's now move to state, component state, right? Component state. Okay. Yeah, boy, you're gonna have to like write on the comments so that I can be up to date with what you say. So you're saying that I can go to settings and let me see. Let me create a music code first. Let's say, and let's say maybe I do some hello there. Let's say hello there. Let's save so it doesn't format the code. Okay, let's see what you say. And save, make use of prettier from a. You can go to settings to fix the record. So on settings, Visual Studio set this settings. Editor, format on paste, format on save. Format on save. I think it does that. That's what I wanted. Let's see. No. Doesn't, how do we? Let me ask. My code after saving. I've already have. Oh, in your project, will create a pre-tier. So that's the same configuration that I was asked to do. In your project, will create. Okay. Single quote to true. Same if I don't tab width to print width 100 trailing comma. ES5. True. Option create a pre-tier. Ignore to ignore files fold. Or you can ignore certain things. Install VS Code. Configure. But I do have pre-tier, right? Let's see. Download. Okay, so let's do save. You already installed pre-TSC number 4, search on save. Okay. After save. Let's after delay on focus on window change. After delay, okay, let's do sessions, okay. Yeah, but I'm not so sure if this thing is gonna work or is it gonna work? Like, do I have a way of saving the settings or it automatically saves? Because what I did, I said auto save and code actions on save. Code actions on save. I have no idea what is that. Let's close this. Do I have to set up the what is this thing? Do I have to set up this file that this thing is talking about? Because this thing says that I should what does it say? In your project will create .prettier erc what this file. You have to create this file or what's up? Okay, so the guy says no. Oh, what do I do? Because I'm trying to see. It's supposed to format this thing. Okay, anyway, just we'll work it out as we progress with this thing. Because at this point I can see that they can. Okay, make sure you turn format on save. Yes. Okay, let's see settings. One, two. Make sure you turn format. Default format. Okay, let's search default. Oh, default format. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now let's come to this one. Oh, broski. Thanks, bro. Thanks. Let's see. Thanks, bro. Thanks. Okay, so now we know this thing can just format things. So let's check our page here. Hello there. Okay, so everything is being formatted proper. What can we do? Let's say it last. Let's name it BTN. So BTN. I don't know if we do have something like this. So primer, okay. So the bootstrap works perfectly fine. So Atibra, have you ever used this thing? I don't know how far. Like, are you in sync with my video? Because my stream says excellent. I'm not so sure if you are in sync. Anyway, let's proceed. So we know how to create a component. We know how to create a page. Now we're gonna be moving to. Okay, let's proceed with what? We're gonna be proceeding with. What is this thing? Okay, cool, bro. Cool. I just saw your theme now. With me now is 2 past 10. So I just saw your message of yes. Now 2 past 10. I don't know how long it takes you before you can actually see what I'm actually doing. Anyway, now I'm moving to this thing. State, right? Component state. But before we move to components, actually, how can I create my own, let's say, custom components and inject them to a page? Let's do something like this. Okay, let's close this. We can just close. Okay, so source, we create another one, all the call components, and then from there, my button. So this is our page app, and then here you can create a folder called components. Components. In the what? In the root. So we have to put this thing on the root. So I have components in here. What is that? Extension to make files look good. let's see. Oh, let's see here. Extension or VS Code. Make folders and file have good icons. I don't know. Material icon theme. Perfect. So components. So we're gonna create what? Let's see. My button dot. So we create a button called my button.tsx. Let's say my button.tsx and export default, right? Wait, what? There's an interface. Use client only need if the component uses state, events, or hooks. We don't know what these things are, but we're just gonna move to interface. So there's an interface, my button properties, label string, on click, void. Export default function, my button. Oh, it takes, so this is how you wait. There's an interface, and then there's something like this one which seems to be parameters, and then from then this is more of inheritance, and my button props, meaning I don't know. So okay, I wanna mark this thing. What is the purpose of interface and label? Let's say it was an interface. Label on click, button. And okay, this move. Okay, so the name and the type. Okay, optional prop. Okay. Where's the type save? Type save will say RFC to create start code for component for shut. RFC. Okay, default benchmark bounty. Oh, cool. Cool. I love that, boy. Nice. Okay, so RFC React. What is it? React. I don't know what it is, but wait, RFC. React functional React functional component. Function button props. My button props. So it's the same thing. Okay. label. So inside the function, you can use label and click. You can use label. Interface calc. So we can do props and then we say props my button. Okay, we're gonna use that one. Okay, we have to now. So we're gonna create an interface here. Let's say interface. What are we gonna call it? Do we have what on? Okay, we just write my button props. And okay, so we do have a label and it's a string, and no, we don't have that. We don't use semicolons. We don't use this. Nah, let's actually use coding standards of this thing. Looks like my music has ended. Oh, paused. Okay. So on click on which it's a function. My button is defined but not used. Okay. So we can say props. So props my button props. What is this? But this value is never used. Okay. So let's say name. Let's say label. Let's equals to props. I mean props. Dot label. And then we're just gonna. This is page total user. So now let's do this. What is the name of that thing? It's cost my bot. Wait, the naming of the does it have to be capital letter? This is capital letter. I forgot to name it. I didn't name it properly. But where is this one? Okay. Where is the name of the file stars? Why do my button React trees components are also based on the first letter? Uppercase React trees, lowercase React. Or is a regular HTML element? So this one is a component. Uppercase, that means this one is a component. Okay, now let's rename this thing. My button. Import from component. So they say property label is missing in type or required in type my button props. So now we can just say label. Okay. Let's say okay. 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 Import my button module not found. Unresolved components my button. Okay, the namespace is wrong. I think I don't know what they call it. It's supposed to be my button. Already. What? The file is in the program because imported via components from file. Okay, so if it's already imported, we can delete this or what? Add import. Oh, come on. How do we import? My button. Name of the file. Name. I don't know. Oh, name of the function becomes the name of the file. So meaning my button. Okay. Let's come here. Oh, my button. Is it gonna work? What does it say? Every component must start with a uppercase. Cool, cool, cool. I feel like something's wrong here. I don't know why it's giving me that error. My button is not defined. Let's stop this thing. The craziest part is this. It complains, but probably it works if I check it from... You see? It works, but here it's complaining. This is crazy. Yeah, this is so crazy, bro. Save the code. Oh, didn't I save my button? I just saved it, bro. But still doesn't work. Still does that squiggling thing. Red line. But it works. That's just crazy. Anyway, we'll forgive it for now. Because it says, well, already included file name. Okay, so now we know how to create probes, parameters, or you in Blazor we call them parameters. So if we know how to create parameters, which is good, and then now we're gonna have to move to the next part, which is just gonna be, what are we gonna be doing? I'm starting to fall asleep. So so we know how to create components, right? So we know how to create pages. We know how to inject components within another page or components inside another component. So I think now what is left is to, what is it? Let's say, for example, can I create my own layout? Let's try it. Let's start with the layout first. So show me how to create your own layout and make another page. Use the layer. Okay, let's go. Have we reached the limit? So what's happening here? Try again. Alright. Ooh, I'm starting to feel sleepy now. Nara, let's buy. Okay, so we do have import React node from React to the layout component. React node interface main layout props. Children. Unknown is a React node. So that what we are saying is that the children should be of type React node, meaning it's a node component based React component, and then return. So main layout. So we're creating main layout. So here, let's make it auth. So we create a folder called layouts, and then from then, right? New folder. Let's say layouts, and then we're gonna say auth. How do I name it? Capital letter. Okay. Because it's a component. So a component starts with but cause why is this one lowercase? This one is uppercase. Wait. Seems like default. Your TSX is in small case. Including is starts with uppercase. Why is that? Exactly. This in Next.JS 18 plus app route. Let me explain clearly. This is special. It's automatically recognized by. Okay, file must be. So it can be anything. Okay, it's not special to Next.js. It's normal React component uppercase. Okay, so every time we create a component, like for ourselves, we always gonna be using uppercase. So here, let's rename this thing. So we're gonna say auth layout.tsx and React. Yep. I'm getting a hang of this one. Anyway, let's clear this. Is there a way ChatGPT is lying to you? You must have a layout inside. Okay. ChatGPT is lying to you. You must have a layout.tsx inside auth folder that creates folders routes like auth. So we create a folder, and then from there we have login, and then we have page. Serious? Okay, boy. Okay, we will check it late. That one, I'll keep that one in mind. So if or ever I run into some errors. Anyway, so we need to provide an interface for our layout. What we need, right? So we need interface, and which is supposed to auth layout, and auth layout does have. Is that children? Did it name it children? Yeah, children. Children must be inheriting from. Let me see if I'll guess this one right. So it must be inheriting from React node. Is it React? React node. Yep. And then from there we can here do inject React node. I mean children. Oh, you must actually know. Not a div. Why? Let's see. The expected types comes from property children, which is this. Oh, okay. We forgot to do props here. So with props props is equals to auth layout, and then from here, is that how we do it? Yeah. So now we can say props search over. Remove this. I have no idea why I did that. Okay. Anyway. This is becoming painful now. So react that dun. So now we are saying, instead of saying in HTML and then defining the, like starting a page, so it's gonna return a different thing. It must throw an exception. Use the code ChatGPT is giving you on number 4. Okay, boy. Number 4. Okay, yeah, that one. I'm also trying to use like my mind to just do guessing game. Because if something beats me for the first time, at least for the second time, I'll probably get it right. And now, okay. So once we manage to create the layout, if you want, I can combine out the default. Okay, now since I have the layout, can you show me how to use it in a page? So we're gonna say we're gonna just create something called a login. So okay, dashboard. Let me see. Import main layout, return main layout. Wait, let me see this page. Layout. HTML. Children. Does it have an interface? Oh, it doesn't have an interface, but search children. Only children. This is some advanced stuff here. Bruce. An old log half past 10. So main layout, right? And then we basically this is just a repeat, and we can just okay. So we wrap it with the actual layout. So whatever page, let's use login page, right? So let's on the auth layout, let's make it like this. Before that, okay, let me close this. That's what I want to do is let's do this. Oh, there's no. What do I want to do? Okay, I want to create another div in here, like as if like it's auth layout, right? And so let's say my mb class name mb/from, And so now let's come here. On the auth layout, we do have, okay, layouts, no problem. So now let's create another page here. So I'm gonna call it login and page.tsx in here. Page.tsx. RFC. And why does it always create that thing? There's that import. I don't understand it. Anyway, so function page. So we're gonna have, anyway, let's just do this thing. So instead of wrapping it with this thing, we're gonna wrap it with the layout that we want on, which is gonna be the auth layout. So this is wrapping, and then it requires something. So this is gonna be a login page. Let's say this is a login page. Is it running? It's running. So now we can just come in here, come to login. Auth layout, perfect. So now we do know how to create layouts. It might not be perfect at this point, but at least we do understand how to wrap components or nest components, so to create layouts and all that thing. We might do some conditional wrapping at some points, but for now, so we do know how to create pages, how to create layouts, or how to inject components within another component. What is the next state, right? So let's say, for example, persistent state, which come on. What the heck am I doing? Yeah. So anyways, so with this one, what I want to do is that if, let's say, for example, we create a navigation and then we move to one page, we want persistent. But wait a minute. Wait, before that, let's do something. Let's create a button, and then when you click on it, it creates a count, right? I think it will also teach us about state. Let's actually try to create that one actually ourselves before we use how is this thing, the AI, right? So we're gonna create a page called counter. So yeah, we're just gonna do page.tsx RFC, and I have a problem with this import. Why does it do that default import? Wait a minute, how do I Control Shift E? Control Shift E, that means it's for Control Shift E. And then how do I minimize it? Control Shift E. Like, oh, it doesn't minimize. Okay. So what we want is to create, let's say, for example, this is a div, right? So we're just gonna create another div here. We're just gonna say, let's create a state. So let val count, let's start it at 0. Count is never count is declared, but its value is never count is never reassigned. Use constant instead. Wait, constant. But constant, can you change constant to the later stage? I don't know, we'll see. So val, let's say count. Let's say span. I don't know. Let's just do some style. Don't wait. How do we do font weight here? Style. I have no idea. Wait, how do we do that? What the heck? How to create inline style? Oh, okay, what is this? Font weight. Oh. Bolder. Okay, perfect. So here we're just gonna make it do what? Can you see? I'm not so sure with this current zoom you can actually see. I can see on my side, but okay, let's keep it like this. So we're gonna be using account, right? And then from here we're just gonna have a button, and on click there's gonna be a function. So we need to create a function. Can we create export function default? Can we create an external function here? Function on click. Let's say increment. I don't think we will be able to. Okay, so that means this thing has to be outside of this component. Okay, now let's do this increment. What are we gonna do? So we're gonna say so count plus cannot assign count because it's constant. It makes sense. What should we use then? Let, I don't know, let create a function inside the component. Oh, okay, so inside the so even this thing is a function. I can create a function inside another function. Okay, let's try that one. So let's try to put this in here. Oh, no, there we go. And we can now take this thing, put it in here. Okay, sure, bro, sure. So now, so function increment on which we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna be calling increment. Is it gonna work though? So bold count. Let's see. So what is the name of it? Counter. So we need to check. So counter. I don't think our button does even have a text. So let's see. Let's say increment. Counter. Okay. Button on click function. Okay, if you need interactivity, consider converting part of this into a client. Okay, let me copy this. Actually, let's put it in here. It seems like React is getting crazy now. I'll just use this thing. Oh, there's a about the server. This is client component problem. Let me component times server component. No, can use state events. Okay, so server cannot use. No use state on click. Server needs use client. Okay, so client component, yes. If you try to use onClick on a server component, you get exactly this error, event what, because server component can't handle browser events, only run on the server. Use client. At the top of your component file, add use client. So that means use client, that means, okay, so this is all we need. Okay. So now let's come here. So now let's come. Oh, here we go. Let's make it. Let's create some style for dog. Let's add a bootstrap class. So we're gonna say it's a btn/primary. Perfect. Let's see. That's it. So I don't know. Why doesn't this thing change? Because say function increment the count plus. Can I put a breakpoint here? Yes. Oh, I'm not debugging. Anyway, so count is equals to 0, count. Hey, I need your help now. What's up? What's up? What's up? So before I ask this thing, use state not used. So what is, so that's why use state have occurs. Like that's where we actually need use state. So if we try to change the state of something, it won't, when we click on a button to change the value, it won't actually change the component. Okay, let's copy this on one full explanation. Why can't see the code that we gave you? Yeah, okay, I see that thing. Let me try to get why can't I? What is the English? It's how it's like a score. Why doesn't it? Okay, let's say when clicking on increment button, the value of count doesn't increase. Why is that? Let's see. Try again. This is important. React about state versus local variable. Okay. So we do have our local variable called count, right? Let's break it down. Let count function. Count is just a regular JavaScript variable. Updating does not trigger React re-render. So React re-render. So in Blazor, we do have something called state has changed, on which in most cases we don't even have to. Okay, I think it happens maybe under the hood. Updating does not trigger. Create only updates the UI when state changes using useState. So once state changes in here, that's when it re-renders the component. Now I think I get it. So when you click the button count plus 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 plus, wait a minute, instead of using this, right, is it possible to just put it on a layout? Because I think with, is it possible? Let's see. Okay, it's not. So I have to put this thing on every page. That sucks. Use state. So we're gonna be importing new state from React library, whatever the thing is. Export default constant count. Set count. Use state. Okay, now we have to explain this thing. So this is the name of the variable. This is function pro set count. What? There's a function, and then this function executes this function on which it says. So this function automatically provides the previous value, and then you manipulate that previous value or the current value. I think it makes sense. Let me say explain this in a bit. Or maybe did it? Okay. Perfect. This is called array destructuring with React. Use the. Okay, I think I know that we have something like this in C#, where this thing assigns set count. Okay, I'm not so sure. Use state tells React, I want to state variable that start at 0. So let's say if I have more than 5 variables, I'm gonna have to use this thing and just change this thing. We'll try it later. Returns an array with 2 elements. Oh, this thing returns an array with 2 elements, on which the one is the actual value, and then the second one is set count function, on which is the function to update the state of that particular as variable or whatever. Count the current state value, so that 0, React tracks it internally. Set count function to update the state. Okay, now it makes sense. So set count start at 5, let constant function increment. So it triggers the function to update, and what happens is that the function to update provides us with the previous value, and then what we do to the previous value, we just add 1 or to the current value, basically. Let's see. So now let's do something like this. Okay, this one we're gonna need. So we need count, and then we need, what is the name of the function to update this thing? Let's say increment function. I don't know. Let's see. Use state. So the default value will be at 0. Use state doesn't. Okay, but we cannot find name increment function. Wait. What's happening? Set count. Let's say function increment. Let's say increment. Increment. Nah, this is crazy. What am I doing? So can't set count. Okay, it's to set. Okay, let's say set count. Am I doing something wrong? Constant. Use state in a function page. So it must be outside. No. Okay, let's say increment. No, we're gonna say set count. So set count, we get the previous value. What do we wanna do to the previous value? That's one. Wait, why is it doing this? React hooks. Use state is called in function page. That is neither. Can you copy this? Okay, let's just copy this thing. Very common. So component and hooks. So hooks. I don't know what is a hook. Anyway, React hook use state is called in function page. That is neither a React function component nor custom React uppercase. Component. So we just have to call it with a, we have to name this thing page with a capital letter, and then from there, you know. I'm trying to drink a lot of water so that I don't feel too sleepy, but it doesn't help. So if we change this thing, just capital letter, it's gonna work. It's nuts. Now let's see. Increment, perfect. Getting too sleepy now. Anyway, so we do know we've created our first function. Page. I don't know what page is. Seems like I just had to capital letter just to make it capital letter so that it becomes a React component. So it seems like the naming in React matters the most. Okay, I think this is a good start. What we did is we've created, so we know how to manage state. So we use state. What are hooks? I saw something about hooks. What exactly are hooks? And that way we can actually see what is happening. Hooks are special functions. Or hooks are like functions that comes with React. Common built-in hooks. Okay, we have used it on which we have used run side effects, API calls, timers. Use effects for fetching data. Okay, we're gonna have to use that one. This is now getting crazier. So for that, we're gonna need use context access react context values. Use callback. Music has stopped. I opened VS by mistake, by the way. Uh, so what do we need now? What am I trying to do? Okay, so rules of hooks, senior tips. Only call hooks at the top level. Don't call inside loops, conditions, or nested functions. Hooks won't work in normal functions. Custom hooks starts with use. Okay. What can we do next? So use effect. Okay, so I think so we do know. Okay, yeah, we can actually learn the hook because we already use state. What we can actually do now is to use this thing. Use effect. Use state holds the counter. Use effect runs a side effect. Use effect. Wait a minute. Does it mean more of like a background job, something like that? Because that's set interval, set seconds. Let me ask. Is use effect more like background job? Or what? What is it? Yes, you can think of it, a kind of background job, but with some important. Let me explain clear. Use effect, side effects. After side effects, anything outside of rendering JS, like fetching data from the APIs. Direct renders the UFS, then runs the effect. Oh, okay. Okay, so in Blazor, it's more like on after render. Bool first render. Something. Let's see. Exactly, that's very good analogy. Let's compare. Okay. So now, first render.js invocable console.log component mounted around. Okay, use effect and react. Use effect. I want to play. This music has stopped out of the blue. Maybe that's from sleep. All right. So now use effect is more like on after render. That means the component probably runs after the first render. Return. Clean up before unmount. Okay. So tired now. All right. Let's see. Okay. Well. All right. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna be working from here, standing up a bit. Okay. So what do we need now? We need, let me grab something. So now we do have what are we doing? We're doing use effect, right? It's more it's like on after render, on which runs after the first render. Returns clean up runs before unmount. What is unmount? Meaning empty array first render. Empty array is equals to first render only. What does it mean? The empty dependency array corresponds to first render is equals to true. Cleanup function corresponds to dispose. Okay, so this is a cleanup function. This is empty. Both. I still fail to understand this one. Empty array. Okay, let's create a page called effects, right? And then here we're just gonna, so let's say effect. I'm not so sure if it's gonna page.tsx. So we're gonna be using use effect here. Use effect. So we execute it, it accepts a function, and then this function so this one is for first render. The first part is for first render. I wanna make the code sleep a bit. So this one, so we need this function. I'm just gonna put it in here. So in here, I'm gonna say sleep milliseconds 2000. So and I don't know what is the after rendering. What is it? Effect, right? Effects. Use effect, export, yeah, is it user client? What is the name? User client. User client? Wait, did I use client? Use client. After rendering, let's make it work. So I can just insert it. So after rendering, wait, did we forget await? Do we have to await this? Await. Come on. I think at least this one I'm familiar with. Export default async. Do we have to do this? Async. I don't know. Oh, I'm calling it on the wrong one. Okay. That's supposed to be in here. Async. Cause come on. From is void. So if this thing cannot be async. Now this is driving me crazy. So I have to create a function to let's run effects. Do we use async for now? Wait, function name starts with a small letter. Unless it's a component, right? Okay, so run. So we're gonna say run effects. So we're gonna make this thing async. But wait, we need. Okay, let's cut this. Then we're gonna say run effects. Run effects. You have to return. It's not assignable to type void. Oh, because we also expect an array at the end, right? So, I mean, wait. Okay, so we call the function async function delayed, and then we call that thing delayed. Oh, we can even declare a function inside of that thing. This is going crazy. So it returns a function. Run effect is accessed before it's declared. Makes sense. Okay. Promise void. What is a promise? What is a promise? Yeah, boy, it seems like I'm stuck here. Let's see. Type. So type it. Oh, this thing is an async. So if we were to remove this, it was gonna run. Okay, because this one returns it's a promise. Nah, makes sense. Okay, promise, that means it's a synchronous function. Oh. So we declare function. Here we are web and run a fun. So here now we can do await, but automatically currently we've been streaming for 2 hours straight. Connected. Oh, 10 seconds is too much. Surrender. Let's have something here. No, I'll turn that already. So this is how you actually run synchronous function. But this is the boring part. We can't actually avoid this part. We need to run. Meaning, if we were to do something like this, console.log. No. Let's see. After waiting, let's see. After waiting. Let's see. After waiting already, you see it's executed because we didn't await that thing. Okay, can we do something with this? Because let's see with TypeScript. I have to ensure that after waiting gets entered after run effects has completed. So that's the play. Once we can load that thing, you, you, you. So you need to create an async function. There's no best option to await. Create. Okay. So you have to create a function here, an async function, and await this thing, and then that's when option 2. So user cannot be async directly. You can't write. It returns a promise which React ignores. Makes sense. Oh. Hey boy, just so no. What is no for? Let me actually check how far you are. Create. No, YouTube. Ah, okay, I see, boy. I get it. So that means now we have to actually wrap this thing with another function in case if let's say we wanna avoid this part. So sounds like the only way is to let's say run all. Okay, run have to be run all, right? And so now we can actually avoid this thing and do run all here. This is just crazy, bro. Now everything's just gonna be in sequence. Where's that thing? And we need this window as well. So if we come here, refresh, connected, everything now run in order. Oh, this is crazy, bro. After waiting. Okay, see. Okay, so with use effect, I think we are done. What do we need now? We need. So we can now actually we understand. So when we wanna do some fetching of data and all that thing, use effect. It's like an after render. So we can pull that, right? So we can simulate fetching data here, right? So, but it actually does make sense. The question is, will it actually update? Let's see something. So let's let's simulate some function. So this function we're gonna call it, let's call it get users, right? What is the name of this page effect? Let's just say get users. It's just gonna be simple on which it's gonna say, let's say we're just gonna return an array. Let's say Abraham. Let's say Atingosi. Let's leave it. Let's do await. Sleep. Let's say 5 seconds. And with that, we're gonna say variable use. Okay, let we don't use constant. Is it constant users? Is equals to get users, and let's create it here. So users, we need to use, what do we have to use? We have to use state, right? So let's create a state of users here. So we do have users here, and then we're gonna say set users, and it's use state, on which we're gonna start with an empty. Okay, now let's do this. So get users. Okay, so we created our state here, which starts with that thing, and set users. So get users, what's gonna happen is, so once we are done, we're gonna say set users, right? So set users is gonna be, so set users, we get the previous, on which we don't care much about the previous, but we say we don't care about the users. We just wanted to return the users on which we've, let's see, it's not assignable. Okay, argument of type set users. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, I still refuses. Oh, error, calling set state synchronously. Because this time it's a synchronous. Makes sense. Wait, if we had something like this, if we were to do something like that, if let's say we do something like this, and then we just make it, still refuses. Wait, await get users, but it returns get users, so shouldn't return. Okay, so they say, so we do have error calling set state. Let's read this thing. It's not about parameter of type set state action never. I don't understand this thing. Or we can't, or maybe okay, let's see. Error code. Calling set state synchronously within an effect can trigger cascading renders. Effects are intended to synchronize state between React and external systems such as Monolith. In general, the body of an effect should do one or both of the following: update the external system with the latest. Oh, so that means we don't have to use set state inside of this thing. Let's do something like this. Let's say let users is equals to this, right? Users is never reassigned. Let's delete this thing. Okay, we're gonna say we need to await this thing. So that means, so that one is just the function, right? We need an async function. Okay, actually, instead of retain, let's just set this thing. Just to avoid, and we're just gonna say get users. Variable from inside React hooks. Wait. Okay, now I feel like we're getting into some crazy things here. What is it? So it's like you're trying to understand use effect and then combine it with use state, and then now it tells you to use, what is that one? Use reference or something like that? Consider using state instead. Try using state, come on. Do you have to do that thing again? No. Okay, let's see. Set users. Right. Privilege goes to users. Is it something that is possible, this thing? I don't understand. AURT. This thing is killing me now. Set users. Oh, string is not. So we have to. Oh, users. We have to specify the type. Okay, wait. Because it says that a string is not associated to type never. So that means some way we must be able. So this thing, can you say string array something like that? Or string. How to set? Okay, let me ask this. About state. Okay, so with use state, and this is how we do it. So is this string like this? Okay, that makes sense. So you got it. So set users is equals to the string. Haha, we got it. And then from then, so we can just do something like this. For each array, for each on which for array is equals to use, but for each user, div. So names use. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not even sure what I did is gonna work. Because get effects 200. Set users is supposed to. Still nothing. So if this one set hours are wait, get users gets triggered by this one here, and I'm wrong. What's supposed to set users? Why is it doing this? Okay, so this one doesn't render. Wait, why doesn't it set users value? Also, So it's like it doesn't actually change the value. Okay, so users either, wait, what does it say? React hook use effect has a missing dependency. So here, wait, let me see this. Dependency list. If present, effects will only activate if the values in the list change. So that means the changes will, okay. What? Or remove the dependency array. Let me get this thing. What does it mean? So whatever you use inside of here, okay, user's dependency array is missing. React hook use effect has missing dependency users either included or okay. React wants use effect to run whenever inside users change. Your effects uses the limit, but your dependency array is empty. Fix things might stay. How to fix it? Include users and dependency. Whenever users change, the effects run. Option 2. If you want to run on mount, don't use variables that can change inside the effect. So if the variable can change inside the effect, don't use it, or use ref for immutable values. So if we change something, that means this thing. Okay. So dependencies, whatever. So once it change. Wait. Let's see. Let's do console. Console log. Let's see. Console log. Yeah, there's inconsistency between single quote and double quotes. Getting user console.log, then getting users. Getting users, then getting users. So okay, if I at the int, now this is crazy. I'm out. That's now that means so the dependencies is gonna be what users. Okay, there's an issue. Final argument passed to the order and size of the error must remain constant. So this thing will run until. So this thing will run forever. Because every time when that thing changes, let's do this. So when users change, it runs. Okay. Oh, this is crazy. So use if frame. Every time one this thing run, it executes this thing. So that means this is an infinite loop, basically. Because this thing will keep changing in here. Let me put it in chat. And it doesn't print anything, right? Okay. Hey, let me change this. Okay, I'm gonna remove this dependency here. Oh, damn it. Wait. I was so it doesn't it because this that okay, let's do this. Okay, now I'm doing nonsense. Come on, what am I doing? Let me just do this. Okay, I think we're getting there. Let's see what we had. So what we had was this, right? On which we were using for each. So if we would wrap this with div, add this div. and use something like this. And with that, let's work with. Okay, I can see why this. This doesn't return. So you have to wrap it with div, and with the div you can't actually. So the solution is this one. So div. I still don't get this thing. Okay, so return. Wait. Users for each. Instead of actually returning this. Okay, yeah, we have to wrap. Now this thing, I don't know how to wrap these things. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end this thing here. Yeah. Ooh. I'm so tired, bro. Okay, so this will be 8, I think. So no dependencies that are gonna be using. Just gonna keep it like this. Change this. So use map here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be off now. I can barely even open my eyes, so the stream's gonna end now.